It's your boy D Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with the most unexpected culture shock for Americans in Germany. I'm excited to dive in, and before we do that, make sure you dive into that subscribe button, ring notification bell, give the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Social media, Patreon, all up top. You know, subscribe to any of it, put all the links in the description. All you gotta do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me. Human, I talk back. You guys got a favorite video suggestion? You can subscribe to Patreon or drop it in the comment section. What do we got?
You thought that Germans and Americans viewed water the same way? No.
I know that Germans love their fizzy water. Americans steal water. I got you.
No. Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. I am Donnie, and along with my wife Aubrey, we are two Americans currently living in Germany with our baby, sharing all of our experiences living and traveling throughout Europe. I first came to Germany in 2014 as a junior in college on a study abroad program where I was going to live with a German family. My grandfather had done business in Germany for decades, so when he knew I was traveling to Germany for the first time, he wanted to give me the inside scoop on German culture and Germans. One thing my grandfather talked to me about was how Germans only drink their water carbonated. Now, to be completely honest, when he told me this, I kind of shrugged it off, thinking maybe this was the way that it was back in the day when he would visit Germany, but based on how extremely unpopular carbonated water is in the US, I thought there was no way that Germans drink their water today that way. I figured drinking water is so fundamentally basic to the human experience, it won't matter what culture you're in, drinking water is drinking water. I mean, how different can it be?
So?
Well, then I arrived in Germany, and then a few years later subsequently moved to Germany, where we have been living for the past 3 years, and now, well, no. Germans and Americans don't look at water the same way at all.
Chapter 1, carbonation. Yeah. I don't like my water carbonated. I've tried it. I know friends who do like it like that. Like I know people who do like their water carbonated like that here in America, but I don't know. If it's carbonated, I'd rather just go ahead and take a soda. That's just me.
Same way at all. So there I was, my first time ever out of the country, and my first experience interacting with Germans was inside my host family's home in Bonn. On my first night with my host family, they were preparing dinner, and then I saw them fill up a water bottle from the tap, stick it in a machine, and then rapidly inject gas into the bottle of water before setting it on the table. It was done in a way which my host brother walked in the kitchen, grabbed the bottle, and did it as if it was his job every dinner, and everybody just knew it was expected. Except for me. Now, this wasn't my first.
I didn't know it was a machine. I didn't even know it was a machine that could do that. I really thought you had to buy it like that, bro. I learn new things every day.
Dinner, and everybody just knew it was expected, except for me. Now, this wasn't my first time drinking sparkling water. I remember as a kid, someone actually gifting our family a large package of Perrier carbonated water, which I sipped once, hated the taste and experience, and never drank it again. And this was the same experience for my whole family, as none of us were used to drinking anything but still water, and those bottles of water ended up sitting in our fridge for years because it somehow felt more wasteful to throw it away than letting it sit collecting dust in our fridge. So with my host family, I tried drinking the sparkling water out of respect for them, and as I was trying to fully embrace the German experience living in their home, but it never really grew on me, to be honest. By the way, the little machine that was used by my host family to carbonate the tap water was a soda stream, and I remember this because this machine, surprisingly enough, isn't unheard of in the US, even with the lack of carbonated water drinkers. In fact, I was very familiar with the soda stream from the US because I had seen ads for this device to be able to make your own soda at home.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. I've seen making your own soda at home. I didn't know how it was made. I just seen the ads for it. I never bought one because I figured it wasn't gonna taste the same as a soda that you could just buy. But Oh, this is interesting then.
US because I had seen ads for this device to be able to make your own soda at home. At the time, I didn't even know that people simply carbonated water with it and drank it plain. I would even argue that based on the way that these devices are marketed in the US, and I guess because of the soda in the name, it seemed that making your own soda at home was the intended purpose for American consumers, whereas in Germany, you can buy the syrups to make your own soda at home as well, but they seem much more marketed just for carbonating water at home. In fact, 78% of bottled water consumption in Germany is carbonated water, and I've talked about in other videos how unusual it was for us when we first saw Germans carting out huge, literal crates of carbonated bottled water to take home from the grocery store, and then carting the empty crates and bottles back to the grocery store once they were emptied. However, to save on those costs, many German homes do have a water carbonating device. The result of a representative survey conducted by the Market Research Institute of Prolytics on behalf of the German Association of Energy and Water Industries showed that 83% of Germans drink tap water regularly or occasionally. Now, just like my host family that I live with in Bonn, a different article showed a study in which half of responders who said they drink tap water regularly or exclusively carbonate it. So although Germans drink tap water, they don't generally do it like Americans who drink it straight flat from the tap, and according to Atlas Obscura, the average American drinks less than 5 liters of carbonated water per year, unless you were like us and that figure is actually 0 liters of carbonated water per year.
Yeah, mine is 0, but we don't. Hey, we don't drink a lot of tap water either. It's bottled water. We drink a lot of bottled water. I mean, I'm not gonna say everybody drinks bottled water. Some people drink it from the tap, but I feel like more than not, more people are going to drink bottled water than water from the tap.
Unless you were like us and that figure is actually 0 liters of carbonated water per year. But I will say that carbonated water is very slowly on the rise in the US, partially thanks to brands like LaCroix, which I mentioned for 2 reasons. One, because this is a flavored carbonated water brand that became cool and made drinking carbonated water cool in the US. And 2, because I know saying the name LaCroix gets Europeans a little bit worked up that the brand literally purposefully chose a word in French, but chose not to use the French pronunciation. Hopefully that will invigorate the comment section a little bit, and while you are helping with the algorithm by leaving those comments, if you wouldn't mind going ahead and hitting those like and subscribe buttons, that would also be a huge support to our channel. If you want to know other ways of supporting our work as well, I have links to both our Passport 2 merch shop and Patreon page in the description below. In a video from earlier this year, I talked about differences between gyms in the US and gyms in Germany based on our experiences, and one thing I talked about was the lack of drinking fountains in German gyms. However, this isn't a uniquely gym difference. In fact, Germany as a whole lacks drinking fountains, at least when compared to the amount available throughout the US. In August of this year, the German federal cabinet signed off a draft amendment to the Water Resources Act that would make the provision of tap water via public fountains part of the standard water supply for which public authorities are responsible. This act basically requires local municipalities to set up more drinking fountains in heavy pedestrian areas and parks across Germany. That's because there are currently only 1,300 water fountains in all of Germany. With Germany being 357,588 square kilometers, that's only 1 water fountain for every 275 square kilometers. Now, the German government only wants to increase the number of water fountains by about 1,000 and spread over the next few years, and as an American who is used to water fountains being a staple part of society everywhere you go, and in nearly every type of building you go into, that doesn't seem like much. But this leads into a very interesting talk about the status of clean drinking water between both countries and the differences between its perception. Now,
this is one thing I've heard Germans have like cleaner drinking water, and I bet because like I said, we don't drink a lot of water out the tap because it just tastes weird. Like I'm not drinking it out the tap unless you got the tap that do whatever the purifying tap thing. I'm not drinking it out the tap, bro, and so I feel like we probably have more water fountains than I will drink out of water fountain actually if I'm like tired at the gym or something. But I usually bring a bottle of water. But I do hear Germany's like the water is much cleaner.
Clean drinking water between both countries and the differences between its perception. Now, one aspect of readily available drinking water that is different between Germany and the US is free drinking water available in restaurants. We've talked about this also in various videos, and there are a couple of consistent comments we always get. So before you rev up your tiny typing engines, let's cover those. One, we always get comments that you can also get free drinking water in German restaurants. All you have to do is simply ask. Some comments even go as far to say that German restaurants are required by law to give free drinking water. And I'll be honest, I've received enough of these comments that it made me question all the times that we asked for water in German restaurants and nearly always had to pay. So I did some research and I cannot find a single law that requires German restaurants to serve you free drinking water. Instead, I found the opposite. However, there is no right to free water in German restaurants. The owner is free to decide whether or not to offer free water with the meal. In Germany, it is rather an exception that tap water is served with the meal in a restaurant. 1. Tap water is always free in restaurants. Wrong. In principle, the restaurateur can decide that for himself. Voluntary service, yes. Obligation, no. Genuinely though, if someone has proof that German restaurants are required to give free water, I would love to see that. However, as far as I can research and from my personal experience, yes, you can sometimes find restaurants that will give you tap water for free if you ask, but otherwise, you'll typically be paying for a bottle of water. The second comment we always get about the free drinking water is about the quality of drinking water, and comments may run along the lines of, well, even if it is free, I wouldn't want to pay to drink the US's pool water anyways. And this is in reference to the US's practice of chlorinating the public water supply to fight off disease and bacteria to provide safe drinking.
I didn't even know we did that. But I said I will drink water at restaurants. Like, it's not bad at restaurants. Like, it's cool. I never had too much bad experience at restaurants drinking water. But I didn't even know we chlorinated it. So what do y'all? Why do we chlorinate it and other countries don't? Oh, my brain. I don't be understanding. When we do things differently to fight off like certain bacteria or something, and then other countries don't do that or don't need to do that. They do things like a more natural way. I don't understand why we do things a certain way. It all just baffles me.
Of chlorinating the public water supply to fight off disease and bacteria to provide safe drinking water for everyone. Not only does the US chlorinate their water, but they also put fluoride in it as well. Both of these chemicals are used in very small amounts and have a purpose for the greater good of society to help prevent tooth decay and also to provide safe, clean drinking water, which generally does work very well, with a few extremely sad and public issues in the US that ends up hurting the entire US's water image on the global stage, unfortunately. Today, the UK is one of the few European countries that puts chlorine in their water, and Germany does not put either fluoride or chlorine in their water supply, but rely on other means for disinfection and providing safe drinking water. And if we look at the 2022 world ranking of water quality, Germany ranks 8th in the world and the US ranks 26th. So it seems like it's obviously working in Germany. So Germany has fantastic tap drinking water, albeit not always free, but it's available. So then why are Germans so seemingly opposed to water drinking fountains? On one hand, Germans might say, well, why would I need a water fountain when I can just go to any bathroom and just fill up my cup inside of a sink to get water? And to that I would say maybe it's because I grew up with drinking fountains, but that's kind of gross for me to think about going into a bathroom with like food or a cup that I would put to my mouth that is in a place where fecal matters might be floating around. But also, I can understand why a German might say, well, I don't want to put my mouth over something that other people were hovering their mouths over and might be dripping spit on. Now, getting back to the restaurant water, one interesting thing is the difference of what the default of water being served in restaurants are. A consistent thing I'm sure we did when we first moved over here, but we see with all of our American guests who come visit us, is when we go to a restaurant, they order water like an American. When a waiter asks for their drink order, they say something like, "I'll just take a water, please." In the US, doing it this way makes sense because the waiter would just say, "All right," and then go grab them a cup of water. A waiter may come around with a pitcher and fill it up to throughout your meal so your glass never runs dry, but it's almost always just a cup of tap water. But in Germany, it's very different and can be kind of shocking to Americans. After our American friends or family order a water in Germany like this, they're surprised when there's a series of questions that follow because this is never questioned in the US. Questions like still or sparkling, a large bottle or small bottle, how many glasses? That's because in Germany we have found that the default usually is a bottle of sparkling water, but you do have to specify if you want still or sparkling. And you need to specify if you want a quarter-liter bottle for yourself, for example, or a half-liter that you might be splitting with someone else, because they aren't going to be giving you any more water with a pitcher like in the US. Therefore, when we order water in Germany, rather than just a glass of water please like we would say in the US, we now say something like a large bottle of still water and 2 glasses please. One last interesting point on this subject is that although I can't find any laws saying that restaurants must provide free tap water to consumers, I'll wait to see if you guys can come up with a law that I've somehow missed. Restaurants are required to bring the bottle of water to the table sealed, and then the seal first be broken at the table to be poured into glasses. This is to prove to the consumer that the water they are receiving is legit spring, mineral, or whatever other type of water it is that they're buying, rather than the restaurant just filling up a bottle in the back with tap water and then selling it to you at some kind of premium.
Yeah, if I pay for it, I want to see that seal. I want to see that seal undone. If I gotta pay for it, show me that seal getting undone. I need to be sure. Nah, but that's dope. That's dope. Keep it going.
Tap water and then selling it to you at some kind of premium. As we head into the colder months of the year, this next thing pertaining to water that I want to talk about has nothing to do with drinking water, but actually has to do with washing your hands. And I have to be honest, as I was thinking about how I would talk about this part of the video, my original intention was to actually accuse Germany of some unhealthy cleanliness problems, but my research actually ended up suggesting that the way that Germans do things has no problems, and it might actually be the way that I used to think about this cleanliness issue is actually wrong. However, there still is another problem that I need to address with Germans. Let me explain. Every winter in Germany, I started to have to carry hand lotion in my backpack, have a bottle on my desk, and have some in the car because my hands get destroyed way more than they ever did in the US. Now, I know you guys on Instagram have to be familiar with this account, and I had an aha moment when I started seeing her videos about Germany's cold water sinks and bathrooms. This has plagued my hands for the past 3 years, as not only public restrooms, but even our house, we have bathrooms where the sink only flows cold water. Then I take my ice cold hands out into the ice cold German winter weather and they crack and bleed. So not only was I upset about the destruction to my supple and luscious skin, but I also always thought hands have to be washed at a nice warm temperature to thoroughly clean the hands, and I assumed that's why you almost always have warm water sinks in German bathrooms unless for some reason something is out of order. Then I found this article and it said this: there is no evidence, and this study reinforces that the actual temperature of the water has nothing to do with the antimicrobial properties of hand washing. So I guess just keep doing you, Germany, but I still believe the lack of warm water sinks is probably due to the lobbyists of lotion industries blocking the installment of warm taps. To see who made it.
I just don't like. I never thought about the temperature affecting the bacteria. All that. I just get cold easy. I don't want to. I like my hands under warm water. It's better for me.
Lotion industries blocking the installment of warm taps. To see who made it this far into the video, the random question of the week is: bone-in chicken or boneless chicken? Which do you prefer? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and I will see you in our next video. And you need to specify if you usually want a... And you need to specify if you... And you need to specify if you want a quarter... And you need to specify if you want a quarter liter of a... And you need to specify if you want a quarter liter bottle for yourself, for example, or a half liter that you might be splitting.
This guy's funny, man. This guy's funny. That's all we got for this week. If you guys got a favorite video suggestion, subscribe to Patreon or drop it in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Social media, Patreon, all up top. You want to subscribe to any of it? Put all the links in the description. All you got to do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me. Love talking to you guys. You guys are the most incredible team on YouTube. It's your boy Neal. Out.